Hello. Welcome to Roam and Shoot. This is the first video in a mini-series I'm starting to help you make smarter travel choices and have better travel experiences overall. Don't worry, this is still a travel vlog channel and I'll be sharing the new travel vlogs to 2 new countries very soon. Now, as someone who used to run Airbnbs and stayed in many, and as someone who has worked in hotels and stayed in plenty of those too, I've seen both sides of the coin. So in this video, I'm breaking down the pros and cons of Airbnb versus hotels, so you can decide which one is more suitable for you. Make sure to watch this video till the end because I'll be sharing some insider tips on how to book smarter, save money, and get more out of your stay, whether you choose hotel or Airbnb. So let's get into it. All right, let's talk price because we all know that can make or break our decision. When it comes to Airbnb, you basically got 2 choices, home or rooms. Homes. If you book a whole home, you will get an entire house, apartment or a condo to yourself and your travel companions. Depending on the size of some of these homes, can actually accommodate 8 to 10 people or even more, which is perfect for big groups of people or families. Rooms. Now, if you're traveling solo or with a partner, you might opt for an Airbnb room. These are usually just rooms in someone's house. So you'll get your own private room, sometimes with an attached bathroom, and you'll share the common areas like the kitchen, living room, and sometimes even the main bathroom with the host or other guests. The good news, room is typically way more cheaper than booking the entire place. Now, one thing I've found is that Airbnb tend to be way cheaper for longer stays. For example, a 10-day stay in a basic 3 or 4-star hotel could cost you almost double the amount of what you're going to pay at an Airbnb. So if you're planning on staying somewhere for a week or more, an Airbnb is usually your more budget-friendly option. Number 2, facilities and convenience. When you're staying in an Airbnb apartment, one cool benefit is that you can often use the building's facilities like gym, pool, sauna, or even a library. This is especially nice if you're in a place for an extended time or if you're traveling with a big family or kids. Plus, having a full kitchen can save you a ton of money, especially if you're traveling to expensive countries where eating out 3 times a day for a family or a group can really add up. So having that option to cook a meal is definitely a major win. But there's one thing. Airbnbs, of course, don't offer room service like hotels. You won't have someone making your bed or bringing you fresh towels every day. There's no daily housekeeping, although some Airbnbs do offer it as an extra service, usually at an added cost. You'll be responsible for things like washing your dishes, taking out the trash, making sure the place is in a decent condition before you leave. If you leave a mess, you could end up with a bad rating from the host, which can make it harder to book future places. So it's a bit more self-sufficient, but that can be a plus or minus depending on how much you like doing chores. On a holiday, On the hotel side, you've got all the services that make life easier. Hotels often offer concierge to help you with bookings, recommendations, staff to help you with luggage, and of course, daily cleaning. You don't have to lift a finger. And if you lose your hotel key, most hotels will just issue you a new one on the spot. But with Airbnb, if you lose your keys, you not only have to deal with the hassle of calling the host to get a replacement, but you might also end up paying for the cost of the lost keys, and some Airbnb hosts can be super strict about that. Believe me, I know. One huge bonus for Airbnb, especially if you're traveling with pets, is that most Airbnbs, especially houses with big backyards, are pet-friendly. This makes it much more easier to travel with your furry friends, whereas many hotels have very limited or no pet policies at all. Number 3, safety. All right, let's talk safety because that is something we all care about when we travel. In the rare case of emergency, like a fire or earthquake, hotels generally have a bit of an advantage. I once stayed in an Airbnb and at 3 a.m. the fire alarm went off. I had no idea what to do. Should I stay inside? Should I go out downstairs? I just ended up following all the other people because there was no guidance, no clear plan, and no one there to help. Now in a hotel, the staff are trained for emergencies. They know exactly what to do they'll help evacuate if needed, and they'll guide you to a safe area. It is just a little bit more reassuring knowing there's someone on hand who can take charge in those kinds of situations. And it is not just about fires. If you happen to slip or cut yourself or feel sick, the hotel staff are always around to help, whether it is offering first aid or directing you to medical services. But with an Airbnb, you're pretty much on your own. If you're hurt or need help, there's no front desk to call, no staff to assist. It's something worth considering when thinking about safety. Number 4, cancellation policies. Another biggie when choosing where to stay. Hotels tend to have pretty firm rules when it comes to cancellations. They've gotten a little bit more flexible since post-COVID, I would say. But in general, you can be pretty sure that your booking won't get cancelled out of the blue. They're pretty reliable in that regard. However, Airbnb is a little more unpredictable. While it is rare, hosts do have the ability to cancel your booking if something comes up on their end. They are required to give you a full refund, which is great, but the issue is how inconvenient it can be to suddenly find yourself without a place to stay, especially if it's peak season and you're traveling with a group or a pet. Trying to scramble and find something last moment is never fun. Now, let's say you check into your room and something isn't right. Maybe the aircon isn't working or the room is dirty. If you raise the issue at the hotel reception, they will usually move you to another room and maybe even offer an upgrade to apologize. You're generally in good hands when it comes to a hotel service. With Airbnb, it's a bit different. I had a situation recently when I stayed at an Airbnb in Bali. The aircon wasn't working and the bathroom was really dirty. I took pictures, complained to Airbnb, and they ended up refunding me the full amount as a voucher, which was valid for a year. It worked out for me because I travel a lot and didn't mind the voucher. But it is not always that straightforward. If you're on a tight schedule or a long trip, that could be a bit more frustrating. And hey, if you're curious about my Bali Airbnb experience, I'll pin the video on the end screen so you can check it out after this one. Number 5, transparency. When you book a room at a hotel chain, let's say a Holiday Inn or a Sofitel, you pretty much know exactly what to expect. Holiday Inn is going to be more upscale with amenities like fitness center, restaurant, and a room service. On the other hand, a Holiday Inn Express is more basic and geared towards quick stays or transit between flights. There's a pretty clear difference, and since these are global chain, you know what you're getting wherever you go. With Airbnb though, it's a little more unpredictable. Every host is different and every property can vary wildly. Even within the same city, you can book an apartment in one neighborhood and it could be amazing, but book another in a different area and it could be a total letdown. Number 6, privacy and social experience. Depending on whether you book an entire home or just a room in Airbnb, you could have varying level of privacy. If you're renting a whole house or apartment, you'll have your own space, which is great for families or groups who want to stick together. However, in shared spaces, like a room in someone's house, it can feel like you're more in someone else's world, which some people find appealing while others find awkward. Hotels, on the other hand, are designed for privacy. You don't have to interact with anyone unless you want to, and your interactions are usually about checking in and getting help from the staff. But you can also lose out on the local vibe that an Airbnb might give you. The trade-off is the consistency and predictability of the hotel experience. Number 7, customer service and responsiveness. One major difference is that Airbnb hosts are the ones who are supposed to handle customer service, and their response times can vary. You might get a very responsive host, like I used to be, but in some cases, if things go wrong, it could take longer to resolve the issue because there isn't a dedicated hotel staff available 24/7. This could be pretty frustrating sometimes, especially during emergencies or if your host is hard to reach. Hotels usually have 24/7 customer service and a whole team to assist with your needs, whether it's room service, concierge, or handling problems quickly. If something goes wrong, you're more likely to get immediate attention. Okay, time for an insider tip. Did you know if you are looking to book Airbnb room but don't feel comfortable staying in a stranger's house of an opposite gender. You can actually find female-only or male-only places. Yes, Airbnb allows the host, only the ones who live on the premises, to accept the same gender people as a guest. It is rare, but it is there. Before we wrap up, I want to share a money-saving tip that I use all the time when booking travel, whether it's Airbnb, hotels, or flights, or any activities, or even shopping. If you haven't heard of it yet, I highly recommend the Shopback app. Shopback lets you earn cashback on your purchases from tons of retailer and booking sites. When I book a hotel or an Airbnb or flights, I always make sure to check if I can get cashback through Shopback first. It's an easy way to save a bit extra, which is always a win when you're traveling. For example, I booked my hotel in Bali through booking.com via Shopback and got $65 cashback. Here's the best part. If you sign up using my referral code, you'll see it in the description below. You'll get a sign-up bonus. It's a great way to kickstart your savings right away. So if you're planning a trip and want to get some cashback on your bookings, make sure to download the app and use my code to get that extra bonus. By the way, they're not sponsoring this video. Shopback is my personal favorite. So tell me, have you had better experiences with Airbnb or hotels? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's see which one wins for your next trip. Until next time,